is loss. War is separation. War has never been glorious, whether it ends in victory or defeat. When war breaks out, soldiers are forced to march forward, leaving behind unfinished love, families, and homes that were never given the chance to be whole. This truth does not change with time, technology, or ideology. War remains brutal, cold, and unforgiving. Ladies and gentlemen,
in February 2024, reports indicated that the United States had transferred longer-range ATACMS variants to Ukraine. These claims were soon validated. On April 17, 2024, Ukrainian forces launched ATACMS strikes against the Jankoy Air Base in Crimea, located significantly deeper than previous targets. Multiple S-400 components, including radar systems and launchers, were reportedly damaged or destroyed, signaling a new phase of the conflict. What made these strikes especially significant was not just the physical damage, but the strategic message. ATACMS, a missile designed during the Cold War and officially replaced in U.S. service, was now being used to challenge modern Russian air defense systems. Its effectiveness highlighted a recurring reality of warfare. Age does not automatically equate to obsolescence when a weapon is employed within the right operational concept and against suitable vulnerabilities. The situation escalated further in November 2024 when political restrictions on the use of U.S.-supplied weapons were partially lifted. For the first time, Ukrainian forces were authorized to strike military targets located inside internationally recognized Russian territory. This shift marked a significant turning point, not only militarily, but also politically, as it signaled a new level of Western acceptance of escalation risks. On the night of November 19th, Ukraine launched 6 ATACMS missiles against a Russian military facility in Bryansk Oblast. Russian authorities claimed that advanced air defense systems, including S-400 and Pantsir units, intercepted 5 missiles and damaged 1. According to official statements, falling debris caused minor fires but no casualties or critical damage. However, Ukrainian-linked sources reported that at least 1 missile penetrated defenses and struck an ammunition storage site, triggering secondary explosions. Just days later, on November 23rd, Ukrainian forces conducted another ATACMS strike, this time targeting a unit of Russia's 1,491st Air Defense Missile Regiment in Kursk Oblast. The attack reportedly hit a long-range S-400 radar, a critical component responsible for detection and target tracking. Russian statements acknowledged that several missiles were intercepted, but admitted that 2 warheads reached their targets, damaging radar equipment and causing casualties. The pressure continued on November 25th, when 8 ATACMS missiles were launched against the Kursk Vostochny Air Base near Kalino. Russian air defenses again claimed a high interception rate, shooting down 7 missiles. Nevertheless, 1 missile reportedly struck the base, resulting in injuries to personnel and damage to infrastructure. While Moscow emphasized that the overall damage was limited, the repeated nature of these strikes revealed a persistent vulnerability. What stood out was not the absolute level of destruction, but the pattern. ATACMS was not used to annihilate entire bases, but to degrade key nodes, radars, launchers, command facilities. Each successful hit reduced the effectiveness of layered air defense, forcing Russia to expend interceptors and reposition assets. This incremental attrition reflected a deliberate operational logic rather than a quest for dramatic single strikes. More importantly, these events reinforced a broader lesson. Even a missile system over 30 years old, officially retired by its manufacturer, could still shape the battlefield when integrated into a coherent strategy. Against modern defenses, ATACMS did not rely on technological superiority alone, but on timing, targeting, discipline, and operational context. The broader implication of these ATACMS strikes goes beyond the immediate battlefield damage. What they revealed was the gap between advertised capability and real-world performance under sustained pressure. Systems like the S-400 are designed to function as part of an integrated air defense network, relying on early warning, radar coverage, interceptor availability, and coordinated command structures. When any one of these elements is degraded, overall effectiveness effectiveness drops sharply. ATACMS exploited this reality. By forcing Russian air defenses to respond repeatedly, Ukraine compelled them to expend expensive interceptors against relatively old and limited-range missiles. Each interception carried a cost not only in hardware, but also in fatigue, logistics, and exposure of radar emissions. Over time, this pressure reduced flexibility and increased the risk that subsequent strikes would slip through. Another critical factor was predictability. Large modern air defense systems are optimized to counter high-value threats, such as aircraft and cruise missiles approaching from known vectors. ATACMS, however, followed ballistic trajectories that compressed reaction time. Even when detected, defenders had only seconds to respond, leaving little margin for error. In contested environments, this narrow window can be decisive. Equally important was the psychological effect. Repeated strikes inside Russian territory challenged the narrative of invulnerability surrounding strategic air defenses. Even limited damage carried symbolic weight, signaling to both domestic and international audiences that no system is immune when conditions align against it. This erosion of confidence can influence decision-making far beyond the tactical level. Ultimately, ATACMS demonstrated that effectiveness in modern warfare is not defined solely by novelty or sophistication. A weapon's true value lies in how well it fits a specific operational problem. When matched against the right targets, at the right time, and within a coherent doctrine, even an aging system can impose disproportionate costs on a more technologically advanced opponent. The final lesson of ATACMS is not about missiles, radars, or interception rates. It is about thinking. Modern warfare is no longer a simple race to field the newest or most expensive weapon. It is a contest of doctrines, timing, integration, and adaptation. Technology matters, but only when it is aligned with strategy. ATACMS is not the most advanced missile on the battlefield. It is more than 30 years old. It has already been replaced in U.S. service by newer systems designed for longer range and higher survivability. Yet, when placed into the right operational context, ATACMS has demonstrated that relevance is not dictated by age. What matters is whether a weapon can exploit real weaknesses in an opponent's system. The strikes in Ukraine showed that even highly advertised air defense systems are constrained by physics, reaction time, and human decision-making. No radar sees everything, no interceptor inventory is infinite, and no command structure remains perfect under constant pressure. By understanding these limits, Ukraine was able to turn an older missile into a strategic lever rather than a tactical relic. This leads to a broader conclusion. Copying hardware alone is never enough. What truly defines combat power is the ecosystem behind the weapon: intelligence, training, command and control, logistics, and doctrine. A missile without these elements is just metal and fuel. Integrated correctly, even a legacy system can reshape the battlefield. In the end, victory does not belong to the side with the most modern equipment, but to the side that understands the battlefield better. The future of warfare will not be written by technology alone, but by those who know how to combine cost, capability, and strategy with cold realism. War has never been a showcase of flashy weapons. War is where reality is stripped bare in the coldest way possible. ATACMS is not a cutting-edge weapon. It is not a symbol of advanced technology. It was even retired by the United States itself. Yet when placed in the right context, used under the right doctrine, and aimed at the right weakness, an old weapon can still shake a system once called invincible. The lesson here is not about missiles, not about radar, and not about technical specifications. The lesson is about thinking. Modern warfare is no longer a race to see who has newer technology, but a confrontation over who understands the battlefield more deeply. Understanding the enemy's limits, understanding one's own capabilities, and understanding that the right weapon at the right time, used the right way, matters far more than owning the most expensive weapon. Copying hardware is easy, but copying thinking, doctrine, and real operational use is almost impossible. And that is the brutal truth of war. Victory does not belong to the strongest on paper, but to the side that adapts fastest to reality. I'm High. Thank you sincerely for watching until the end. I look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.